everybody. Woo, it's Friday. Come on. Oh, sad Friday. The last Friday before fall. It means you get the whole summer to yourselves. Woohoo. With all of that, I thought we would practice a little gratitude for each other. Practice gratitude. Monona Terrace is so amazing to host this. Same with Group Health to sponsor it. A lot of people put this together. So you don't have to, it's kind of like an Oscar speech, too many names to name, but Lisa's one of them. So everyone, thank you. And Misty somewhere in the building, and Allison at Group Health is somewhere, and that's my Oscar list. And Madeleine for taking over on Tuesdays. With that, let's start on our backs or in a comfortable seated shape. Gentle reminder as you find your shape. I'm probably going to move a little slower today. You are going to go at whatever pace is comfortable for you. If you need a little more, you're going to add a little more. If you need a little less, you're going to do a little less, okay? You never, ever, ever have to stay with the group. You can go rogue at any time, okay? And with that, settling into your shape, giving yourself a few moments to intentionally slow down. Dropping into your body. Practicing with curiosity and kindness. Letting go of judgment, comparison, and expectation. Just notice how your body's feeling. Coming back to your body, back to your breath. Give yourself 2 exhales. With kindness and curiosity, just feeling your emotions. Notice how you're feeling. Remind yourself, no one hears your thoughts but you. And again, trying to let go of judgment and expectation. Just notice how you're feeling. Checking in with your mind with kindness and curiosity. Noticing your mental landscape. And then this triad of body, emotion, feelings, and your mind. From a place of less judgment, more curiosity. There's no wrong way, no right way, just being curious. We'll take about 3 or 4 breaths. And feeling your body breathing, we'll practice gratitude. Finding, noticing 2 or 3 things you're extremely grateful for and bring them to your awareness and feel that gratitude in your body. Just noticing how your body feels with gratitude. Reminding yourself this is a place of strength, a place of resource, a place you can come back over and over and over all day, every day. We'll take 3 breaths. Full commitment, exhale, let the air go, and then 1 cleansing breath, 1 full inhale, exhale. And then if it works for you, we're all going to transition onto our backs into constructive rest pose. So we'll bend your knees. Now, if you need to do this in a chair, you'll figure it out. It's just good old-fashioned dead bug, okay? All the limbs come up to the ceiling. We're going to bend at your knees and bend at your elbows. We're going to do 3 symmetrical. So with an inhale, all the limbs come up, and with an exhale, we bend. Next time all the limbs are up, pause, bring attention, awareness to your back body. So your head, back of the shoulders, ribs, and hips. Now, can you keep the back shape just like it is as you bend your knees? So try not to push your low back into the floor. Keep that neutral spine and bend your elbows. Now it's contralateral. Left leg goes up, right arm goes up, and we bend. Inhale, left arm, right leg. And we're just going to go side to side 4 more times. From your breath, inhale up, exhale, bend. So your core stays nice and anchored and strong. So core reminder is from your ears to your shoulders to your hips. I like to go down to your knees, and then we'll take all the limbs back up to the ceiling. All right, so feel your ears, your shoulders, your ribs, your hips. Do you have a soft little lumbar curve? We're going to take all the limbs out like an X or a Y and bring them back in. So that feeling of corset cummerbund strength as your limbs extend away from you. You need more corset cummerbund strength the further your arms and legs go out. Then you're going to bring everything back in and pause. Okay, it's really easy to tuck your tailbone, okay, and load and land in just your low back. So see if you can feel your tailbone. And it's almost like your tailbone is going out like a tail. You rolled your tail out. You want just to have a little lumbar curve. Right arm goes out to the side, left leg goes out, contralateral this time, and come back in. Left arm, right leg go out and come back in. And just keep going with your breath. And again, the further you take your limbs out, the stronger that corset cummerbund area needs to be. We don't want a ton of wobble in the back hips or the back shoulders. Couple more. All right, after this one, you're going to bring everything back up. Pause. Come back. Ears, shoulders, ribs, hips. Right arm goes overhead. It's going to stretch behind your head, and you're going to lower your left leg a little bit. Then you're going to exhale, sweep everything up to the ceiling. Left arm overhead, right leg goes down a little bit. Extend, reach your fingers and toes apart, sweep it up. Okay. Now, as you extend the limbs, feel that corset cummerbund strength. Okay. In this version, you might also start to feel a little more of the upper back. Great. One more on each side. Yeah, as I look around in the room, everyone's moving with really nice control. So good. Then everything comes up to the ceiling. Your choice. You could draw your knees into your chest, give your low back a little stretch, or bring your feet to the floor. Hang out. We're going to rest for about 5 breaths here. So you can hug your knees in, come back to constructive rest pose, your choice. Take a couple moments here in silence for you to come back and check in with your experience. How are you doing? Great. Come back to a full inhale, full exhale. And then we're going to roll over and build a tabletop. We won't be in tabletop very long. I will try and promise that. I know sometimes I'm like, let's come to table. We won't be here long. And then we're here for a really long time. I'm going to try. We're not going to be here long. So line yourself up, which means midline. Okay. So reminding ourselves, you have your ears, your shoulders, your ribs, and your hips. Okay. Now it's pretty easy for your ribs to drop and be lower than your hips. So find your rib cage and see if you can lift your rib cage up to be about the same height as your hip. And then check your ears are about the same height as your shoulders. Then we're going to find your nose and just line your nose up with the floor. So you might tuck your chin a little bit. And we're going to take 2 breaths and try to feel your back ribs and lungs a little more. We can't see that part of the body. So here we go, trying to feel it through your breath. Now with your next inhale, pull your sternum breastbone up. So as you inhale, pull your breastbone, pull your ribs, pull your belly up, cat pose. When you exhale, go to your cow. So cow is through extension. Cat has flexion. Move with your breathing. We're just going to do one more cat cow because we're not going to be on our wrists forever. After this cat cow, you're going to come back to your table. When you get back to your table, walk your knees back just a little bit and then work on trying to get your forearms straight down onto the floor. So if they don't touch, that's okay. They can hover and then straighten your arms. So remind yourself your core includes your upper back. So we're going a little more from your upper back, upper abdominals through your triceps here. 2 more. So your core is not just your belly, okay? Your core includes that upper back. So that upper back wrapping around your armpits into your upper abdominals. Maybe you can feel that a little more here. You choose either straight arms or elbows. You're going to come back to a tabletop shape. So you can get off your wrists and bring your forearms down. We're just going to do one cat, one cow. So you're going to wait for your inhale. Inhale, round into your cat. Exhale, go into your cow. Find either an elbow table or that straight arm table. Come back, all of us, to tabletop. Either push back to child's pose or lift your knees and push back to downward facing dog. In your down dog, strong fingertips, strong fingers and hands. You can pedal out your feet as you need. All of us are going to push your hip creases back. And then either in cat or child's pose or down dog, hang out and take 3 breaths. All right, if you're in tabletop, okay, look up, find a little cow. If you're in down dog, look up at your hands, find a little extension. And then with an exhale, we're all going to figure out how to come on up to standing. Walking your feet forward, hands back, come up nice and slow. Take a big high five. Hands come down. 5 breaths, standing mountain meditation. So short bouts, many times of meditation. You can come back in. How's your body? How's your breath? How's your mind? How are you feeling? And then take a full exhale. If your eyes are closed, let them open. And then try not to look at your feet. So a little bit like what we did in tabletop, just try and feel your feet without looking down. Okay, and then we're gonna shift the weight forward to the balls of the feet, lift your heels a little bit. And then with control, pull your heels back to come down, and then little chair squat. Press down, come up, lift your heels. Heels draw back to come down, chair. Great, one more time. Great, this time you're gonna hold that chair and turn sideways so you can see you're in your chair. You're gonna take your chest forward, fold. Then keep your knees bent here and slowly pull your legs a little straighter to get that hamstring stretch, just enough. No need to overdo it. Then lift your chest to look forward. It might feel like a little baby cobra or a cow. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, sweep your arms out to come all the way back up. Big mountain stretch. Arms come down, 2 breaths. We're going to do it again. Feel your feet. Shift the weight forward, lift your heels. Come down into that chair. Fold forward, keep your knees bent. Put your arms where they need to go. Lift your sit bones up, lift your legs. Then lift your chest, look out. Fold. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way out to come up. Arms to your side, 2 breaths. Feel your feet, lift your heels. Draw your heels back to come down, weight in the heels, chair, fold. Slowly lift your sit bones up to stretch the back of the legs. Lift your chest. Exhale, fold, step back, tabletop or downward facing dog. So if you want to take less load off your wrist or more load off your wrist, come down to table or hang out in down dog. We have 3 breaths. I'm going to exhale, all find a tabletop. When you find your table, come back to feel your breath where you can't see it in the back, ribs, and lungs. And then use an inhale to round into your cat. Wait for your exhale to go into your cow. Go back to your table when you're ready. Either downward facing dog or child's pose for 3 breaths. Okay, if you're in downward facing dog, make sure your heels are lifted. You're going to slowly transfer your shoulders towards your wrists. You're shifting the load of the weight forward over your wrists. Then you're going to walk your feet forward. If you're in tabletop, right, just come all the way on up. Reach your arms out and up. Arms come down. 5 breaths. Short time, many times, standing meditation, breathing. With your next exhale, take a wide stride, face whichever direction you want to. Heels in, toes out. All right, you want your knees to go over your middle toes. So we're doing 3 sumos, warming up ankles, knees, and hips. So you go up and down. Try to get those knees a little more over that middle toe. Next time you go down, hold. Okay, little awareness. We're going to bring your hands just up onto your chest. Use your hands to help soften your chest out of your jaw, shoulders out of your ears. Find your corset cummerbund. Choose your corset cummerbund nice and strong to help your low back. Okay, you can always come up and stand if you're getting super tired, right? You don't have to be here forever. Or you can pick up your right heel as high as you can. Can pick up your left heel as high as you can. Put your right heel down. Put your left heel down. One more time, left heel as high as you can. Right heel as high as you can. You got it. Left heel comes down, right heel comes down. Lower your squat. Breathe. Sometimes we're in uncomfortable positions in life. We hang out. You got this. 3 more breaths. Use your heels, push down. Ooh, stand up, practice gratitude. Ooh, find 2 or 3 things you're really grateful for right now. Notice how that feels in your body with your breathing. Left leg rolls in a little bit, right leg rolls out. Go about heel to heel. All right, inhale, bend your right knee. Push into your right leg, exhale, straighten. 2 more. Inhale. Really push down in your right leg to straighten it. There you go. One more time, bend. Push that right thigh bone down, your leg straightens. Then we're gonna bend. Bring your hands back up to your chest. Keep your legs right where they are. Inhale, take your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, warrior 2. Right arm comes right over that right thigh bone. Left arm reaches back. Palms face down. 3 breaths. Soft eyes. Might even think of those eyes of kindness and compassion looking out over your right fingertips. Soft chest. Gentle gaze. Arms come down with an exhale. Straighten your right leg. Right leg rolls in a little bit. Left leg rolls out. You're about heel to heel. Right? We don't all move together. With your inhale, we bend. And then you're pushing that thigh bone down to straighten. Right? So as you exhale, this thigh bone pushes down out of this hip to straighten. There you go. Next time it bends, pause. Hands up. Soften your chest. Reach your arms up. Take them wide. And you feel here just a little different. Your arms plugging a little more into the back of your shoulder blades. Right? Less work up here in the pecs. You have a little more awareness in the back shoulder blade through the triceps. 2 more breaths. Pushing that left thigh bone. This time, take your arms all the way on up. Bring both toes around. There you go. Push your butt way back. Wide leg forward fold. Stretch out through the back of the legs just enough. You might bring your hands to your thigh bone, shin, or the floor. And then more challenging, you bring the weight forward, 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 and maybe just skim your heels off the floor. So you don't have to do that. You can keep your heels anchored. You can keep your heels up a tiny bit. 2 more breaths. Inhale, just lift your chest. See if you can feel a little baby cobra or that little baby cow. Fold. All right, you're going to walk your hands to the front of your mat, the feet to the back of the mat. You're either going to do downward facing dog, tabletop, or cat-cow. Or maybe you're like, I'm not doing any of that. I'm taking a child's pose, right? So you pick where you need to go. You check in. How are you feeling? And what do you need here? And you go there and take about 3 more breaths. And come back to some stillness. If you're in cat-cow, you might come to table. If you're in your down dog, slowly again, make sure your heels are lifted. Bring the weight over your wrist. Shift that weight. However it works for you, we all have to come up to standing. Figuring it out on our own. Come on up. We're going to do a big high five stretch and then your arms come down. Sweep your arms forward and up. Shift the weight into the balls of the feet. Come back. Chair squat. Good. Keep your chair. Maybe take your arms up. Okay. Now, when your arms come up, you might tuck your tail just a tiny bit. Okay. So there's not so much anterior tilt that you're really compressing here. Okay. So you might tuck just a little bit, get a little more length. All right, fold forward. Lift your sit bones, hamstring stretch. Lift your chest, look out. Step back, downward facing dog. Tabletop. Child's pose, cat-cow, pick where you want to be. Your next exhale, we have to figure out how to come on up. Right, so figuring out how you want to transfer the weight, the strength. Arms come down, 5 breaths. Short meditation many times. Come back to your body breathing, check in. All right, I'm going to pick up your left heel and then maybe pick up your left knee. So if you're at home or your office, if you need a chair, go grab one because you could hold on to a chair. If you're here and need a wall, go. Don't feel bad. Go stand by the wall. Left knee is going to step all the way back. And we're just going to build that high lunge. Okay, so midline, your ears, shoulders, ribs, hips, strong corset. Right? Hands can be on your hips. Hands could be together. You're going to have your back heel up and both knees are going to go and bend. We're going to go down and up 3 times. Woo, holy right hip. All right, next time you go down, you want a little bend in both. Pause. Whew. Oh my gosh, see? You're going to be thankful we don't have this next Friday. Hands up. All right, now you're going to straighten both legs with strength. Push down, straighten both legs. You're going to step your back foot forward. Woo, 5 breaths. Woo. Shake it out. Right heel lifts. Right knee lifts, balance. Remember, you need your upper back. You need your corset cummerbund. Okay? You need your pelvis. Things work together to help you balance. Right leg steps back. High lunge, okay? So you can take a little narrower stride if you need. Okay, it shouldn't hurt your back. So if you're going up and down, it hurts your back, come in more narrow, okay? Here you go, hands at your hips, hands up here. What do we do? 3. Aren't you grateful it's not 8? or 10. It's going to be your homework. All right. Next time both knees bend, pause. The only way to come on up is to push in that left leg. Then you're going to bend one more time. Challenge yourself. Put yourself in a challenging shape and check back in mentally. Check in with your breath. Can you be here 3 more breaths? This might be a good place to practice gratitude. Push in that left leg, straighten, step both feet together. 5 to 8 breaths, you're just going to stand. Come back to your body and breathe. Okay, arms hanging. Without looking at your feet, feel your feet. Come back to your anchor. Lift your heels. Draw your heels back to come down, chair. Float your arms up. Maybe tuck your tail just a little bit. Keep your knees bent. Hold forward. There you go. Lift your chest a little bit. Baby cobra feel. Okay, in this baby cobra feel, can you lift your sit bones up? Get a little hamstring stretch. Then fold overhead hangs. Ground your hands, step back. Downward facing dog, tabletop, child's pose, cat-cow. Pick a shape, pick a pose, pick an action. Find a place for about 5 breaths. Check in with your breathing. Right? If you're in the room, I would encourage you to bend your knees a little bit and push the weight off your wrists. Really think about pushing your butt, taking your hip creases back, back, back to get a little more length. All right, either coming forward to straight arm plank or tabletop, okay? So you can come forward to your straight arm plank. In your straight arm plank, you want your butt up a little more. We don't want saggy hips. You're going to push your sternum, push your breastbone up. You can always come to your knees. We're going to hang out here for 15 seconds. Oh, I heard that. Came all the way through the TV. Somebody at home grunted too, huh? You got this. Oh, I never looked at the clock for 15 seconds. So we should start over. All right, come down to your knees. We're going to come all the way down on your belly. Tummy time. So just remember, I have a mic on, so my forehead can't come as close to the floor as yours. You're trying to get your nose to just hover. Okay, your hands can be down by your lower ribs. If that doesn't work, walk them up a little bit. And say maybe like your pinky finger and even your ring finger could be off the mat. So you can go a little wider if you need to. Air out your armpits. And then we're going to take those 2 or 3 breaths through your back again in silence. And then like last Friday, I'm going to say it again, pull your toes out of your head, right? Think of that. You want to feel really long, but you also want to feel strong and connected from your ears to your shoulders, through your hips, through your toes. Press your pubic bone in the floor, lift and lower your legs 3 times. Feel that hamstring power. Then your feet come down, lift your chest 3 times. Okay, careful that you're not just lifting your neck. I'm trying to feel a little more between your shoulder blades. Then one more time, 3 times with your legs. And then 3 more times with your chest. And then we'll rest for 3 breaths. Good. All right, so you want your elbows, okay, to be pulling back a little bit at an angle. They don't have to be hugged in, pointing straight back, but we don't want them winging out to the sides, okay? We want them at an angle. So you're gonna push into your mat. You're gonna pull your toes out of your head and ground down and push and lift your chest and come up. And you might straighten your arms, might not. Then you might lift your chin and look up a little bit, shoulders down out of your ears. And I always think the hardest part is going down with control. Woo, should we try one more? Good times. Elbows, right? Not winging. Elbows not hugged in. Push down. Navel to spine. Lift your chin. Control yourself down. Ooh, and rest for 5 breaths. So you can put your hands underneath your head. You could look to the right or the left and just breathe through your back. We'll be nice and quiet for at least 20 seconds. All right, recognizing that we're all really different. Some of us might want to do something like push-ups. Some of us might want to do something more like cat-cow. All right, so we're going to push up to a tabletop. If you want something more challenging, find straight arm plank. You want something challenging, maybe find forearm plank. So you could come down on your forearms, practice forearm plank, right? You could practice floating tables. You could do cat-cow. So we have a 30-second upper back core strength break. All of us are different. Doing cat-cow requires strength, as does floating table, as does elbow or straight arm plank. Each one of us picks a spot, continues to check in. How are you feeling? All right, we have about 10 more seconds. Because again, I said that and didn't look at the clock. I probably could learn to do that. And then you can stay here or come down and go to a child's pose. Your choice. And this time I really will watch. We're going to take about 15 seconds. Child's pose. If child's pose is not your jam, roll on your back and draw your knees into your chest. All of us, come on back. Find 1 or 2 things you're extremely grateful for. And just feel that gratitude. Great. And then slowly come on up and bring your legs out in front of you and have a seat. One more time for a reverse table before we go away for the summer. Feet come out in front of you. The further your feet are away from you, the harder it is. I like them close. Okay. Palms down. So a lot like what we were doing on our bellies, we don't want the elbows winging out like this. We also don't need them squeeze really in like this. So just back at a little bit of an angle, okay? All right, so hands ground, feet ground. The way up is through your hamstrings and your glutes, okay? So you're gonna push down. Down creates a little float in your butt, and then as soon as your butt gets up, it's hamstring. Push the back of your legs up, 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 up. And then with control, come down. All right, try maybe 3 or 4 more hamstrings and glutes. If you're like, oh, that was really easy, then you walk your feet out, okay? So you push down, float. Maybe this is where you are. You're like, oh, my wrist, that's enough. You could try it down here. Okay? Hamstrings and glutes. Higher isn't always better, so you're checking in. Shoulders down out of your ears. Whew, then you're done. You come around. Wrap your wrists around your legs. And take 3 grounding breaths through your back body. And then find a nice, easy, comfortable sitting shape. Crisscross applesauce, or if you prefer to have your legs out in front of you, that works too. Equal weight in your sit bones. So if you go side to side, your left sit bone feels about as anchored as your right. Great. Then we're going to let our eyes be open or closed. Our arms hang down by our side. Come back to our body's breathing and just give ourselves 3 breaths. All right, and then define your rib cage. Trying to not have a whole lot of movement in your belly. We're going to twist to the right. 2 breaths. Twist to the left, 2 breaths. Come back to center. Bring your arms just up. So, right, it's really different when we have to use the muscles to twist as opposed to the arms, right? It's really easy to come to a twist and then pull, right? So here you have to use a little more of those obliques, crisscross sash muscles. Twist to the right. Now take your gaze over to the left and take 3 breaths. You're still even in both sit bones. Strong corset cummerbund, shoulders down out of your ears. All the way around to the left, gaze to the right. Sometimes less is more. 3 breaths. Great, back to center. Great, arms come down. Exhale, sweep them up. Great, right arm's gonna come down. Now, both sit bones stay down. You're gonna slide your arm out and just take a side bend. Not too much, just the right amount. Both sit bones down, reach. So you feel your left sit bone anchor, you can lift up and reach. Over to the other side, left arm comes down. Keep your right thigh bone, right sit bone anchored, reach. Palms face the floor, team. Nice, bring your feet out in front of you. Hands on the back of the legs. Roll all the way back down and take your feet up towards the ceiling. 3 breaths, heavy back hips. Bring your feet to the floor. Take your legs out wide and just windshield wiper legs side to side 3 times. Then your knees come back up towards the ceiling. Finding a really comfortable shape if you prefer, rolling on up to sitting. We always take the last few minutes for self-care. So you can definitely stay on your back Take a few moments to stretch, rest, meditate, breathe. We'll take a couple moments here in silence, an opportunity to come back. How are you feeling in your body? With curiosity and kindness, how do you feel? What's the mental landscape like? What do you need? It's the most effective way to use the next few moments. If you're someone who appreciates soothing touch, you might put a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly. Just giving yourself a moment to reconnect to your breath. And then coming all the way full circle back to gratitude. Feeling 2 or 3 things you're extremely grateful for and taking a breath for each one. Taking a nice full cleansing inhale, exhale. Start to wiggle our fingers and our toes. If you're on the floor, draw your knees into your chest. And then we'll roll over and come on up to sitting. Woohoo! We'll take our arms out and up, give everybody a high five. Thanks everybody online. Thanks everybody in person. Happy summer. See you this fall. Thank you. Woohoo!